have a lot of questions, like many people do, about the financing of this new Green Deal. Why don't you just tell us what, really in the round, how you think it can be done?
Well, right now, good morning and thank you for having me on. Right now, our governments, the United States, the European Commission, European Union, the British government, are all relying on the markets, and in particular on the financial markets, to finance this transformation of our economy away from our addiction to fossil fuel. And I'm arguing that that's not tenable, that that's not sustainable, because markets have different interests from the interests of societies, and they will of course pursue those interests, and not necessarily in the interests of society. And that's why governments have to intervene. We know that governments can intervene. We know that we have developed and advanced monetary systems that enable us to mobilize large sums of finance. And we did that for Wall Street. We did that for when dealing with the pandemic. We know governments can do this. And therefore, I want to see the state take much more of a role. I want to see public authority over the system of transformation, not private authority. I want to see the European Union leading this, not BlackRock.
Well, I mean, I was actually really heartened, and your allusion to BlackRock is, of course, about Larry Fink's letter this year. And I read it, and I read it again, and I, in fact, told the whole of CNBC to go and read this thing. I thought it was great, Anne. I was really pleased that private finance was really getting behind this. From where you're talking, it sounds quite binary to me. Can they not work alongside in the manner that they are doing already?
Well, it's not entirely binary. The private sector relies heavily on the public sector in many ways. Many ways, the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, the European Central Bank. These are all public institutions that Wall Street and Frankfurt and the City of London could not manage without. So, of course, they're always working together. And, of course, in the world that I envisage, there will be private sector involvement. My problem with BlackRock is that in an interview with the Financial Times, Mr. Fink said that he felt that this green stage of his business, this business of greening his business, reminded him of when he started off in mortgage securities. And he thinks that he can make as much money from greening the economy as he was able to make from investing in mortgage securities. Well, we all know that massive investment in mortgage securities led to the great financial crisis. And Mr. Fink has admitted that case happened. So, if he's going to extract from our ecosystem the kind of rates of return that his company extracted from mortgage securities, from our financial system, then we are in very deep trouble. And he's right. He's thinking about this in terms of making huge profits for his business. But when we're talking about the finite resources of the ecosystem, this cannot be exploited for the profits of individual companies or full markets. The ecosystem is here to serve the survival of humanity.